Greetings, friends. My name is Carson Barlow, and welcome to Humanity 3.0. Happy Easter, everyone! Oh wait, I'm an atheist. I don't celebrate Easter. Or do I? Actually, I had this crazy thought this week, and so I figured I'd just throw it on the table and see what happens. But first, let me get you some context. Seems like every holiday has its own origin story, and, well, Easter's no different. So back when Christianity was still developing its doctrines and trying to spread throughout the region, it was running into a little bit of a hard time converting pagans. And of course, most pagans were awesome and had celebrations around the spring equinox. So those that were spreading Christianity had a very clever idea about just taking those celebrations and just kind of swapping out the meaning for them. So instead of celebrating Istar's return from the underworld, we're going to celebrate Christ's resurrection. And it worked. Over a millennia later, Easter has little to nothing to do with the pagan origins and everything to do with the death and resurrection of Jesus. Now let's fast forward to today. If you haven't noticed, Easter is becoming less and less about Jesus and more about hiding eggs and buying candy, flowers, and dresses. Yeah, actually, when you think about it, almost every holiday is becoming more and more about consumerism. Truth be told, I'm not entirely sure I'm on board with this whole consumerism thing. No, I'm the kind of guy who will march to the beat of his own drum, thank you very much. Now let me take a step back and mention one more time that I believe we can make the world a better place by promoting individual empowerment, constructive disagreement etiquette, and institutional reforms and innovations. And I think our best bet is to develop a culture that promotes these things. So why don't we do what early Christianity had done and what marketing strategists are doing now? Let's repurpose Easter, shall we? Well, the whole resurrection of Jesus does seem to be Christianity's attempt to address the whole issue of dealing with our own mortality. While I disagree with their approach, I do think that it is an important issue to deal with. Now, I understand that it is really uncomfortable to acknowledge that, just like everybody else, you are going to die. Even if you're like me and hope that one day you can upload your brain into a computer program, practically speaking, that's not a very likely situation. But just as unpleasant as it is to contemplate your own mortality, I believe that it is indispensable to leading a happy, healthy life while you have breath enough to do so. It prevents us from giving a damn about the things that are unworthy of the unknown yet limited time that we have. On a side note, this is one of the major beefs that I have with many organized religions. It's like philosophical welfare to just tell someone, oh, you're going to be alive after you die. You really don't know that. It is incredibly irresponsible to tell someone to put off their authenticity in life in hopes for a reward that is completely unverifiable, and which never permits them to engage in the challenges and rewards that come with confronting your own mortality. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Easter takes place right around the spring equinox. I wonder if there's something we could do with that too. Spring certainly does seem like a time of rebirth. I mean, when you step outside, it sure seems like the whole world has come back to life. And there's a lot of life going on with nature and how the birds and the bees do the things that the birds and the bees do. But then again, it's not like these living things have died in the winter and then come back to life in the spring. To me, it seems more like every living thing is proclaiming in its own way that, yes, we've made it through the winter. That is, if it has made it through the winter. Okay, I got it now. Check this out. So how about on Good Friday, the Friday before Easter, we take the time to acknowledge those that have died the year before. Kind of like a Day of the Dead, but just for that 1 year. Which makes a smooth transition to the next day, in which we would contemplate our own mortality and reflect on our attitudes and behaviors to make sure that they align well with what actually matters in our lives. So when Easter comes the next day, we can celebrate that we are among the living, and that we can also celebrate that those that we love that are still alive are also among the living. And together we reaffirm our zest that for whatever reason, we are privileged to still be able to experience this ever mysterious thing that we call consciousness. So in honor of Easter, I'd like to say, yeah, I'm still alive. Woo, still alive. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. Yeah, still alive. Woo. I'm still alive, I'm still alive. And if you're watching this, hey, you're alive too. Congratulations. Stay classy, my friends.